The biggest mistake I made in life is always trying to search for, the most complex ways of doing things. Every single person that I know personally within my network that is printing six figures every single month, or they're multi-millionaires in like 7 and 8 or even 9 at this point as well. All of those people keep things so simple. They follow the KISS principle. What is the KISS principle? That is literally keep it simple. There are hundreds of people on the internet. Stupid. Starts off with your offer. We are now within the funnel. What is middle of funnel content? It educates prospects. There are hundreds of people on the internet making tens, if not hundreds or thousands of pounds and dollars from AI funnels. This is simply because they have some information, they understand how to implement the information in order to gain some sort of success, and they've now mastered it to a point where they can teach it to someone else and it becomes repeatable, meaning they can take the information, coach other people, mentor other people, and create an informational product as a result. So in today's video, we're literally going to go into how to actually achieve that and build an effective AI funnel using 3 steps. We don't want to make it too long for you guys. So in regards to step number 1, I'm literally just going to delete this. It all starts off with your offer. At the end of the day, if you have a strong offer, then it sells itself. So we're not necessarily going to go into your offer today. If you want a video detailing how to actually craft an effective offer, literally just comment down below and I'll create a video in regards to that. But we're going to actually be focusing on ICP. For those that don't actually understand what that is, that's an ideal customer or client profile, otherwise known as your perfect customer. Now, in saying this, it literally comes down to who gets the most value from you and whatever you're actually looking to sell or to teach them. Now, a lot of people, whenever it comes to the methods online, etc., when it comes to creating content for your ideal client profile, because content is going to be something that we're actually talking about later on in the video, a lot of people still rely on the old method. And what is the old method? It's finding good content online and literally just copying. That is an old method because, as we already know, it's literally being rinsed. Everyone is actually doing the exact same thing, and that's the reason as to why we're in a trust recession at the current moment. No one actually values the content being created because it's not authentic anymore. Yes, it works, but it only works for a period of time. You need to have something that actually makes it unique and speaks directly to this ideal client profile in order for them to actually build trust, etc. So what we want to do instead of actually looking at just good content, we want to actually find what we call outliers. Now, you can find outliers in different type of ways. One way, for example, is by using things like, for example, vidIQ on YouTube. And what this will actually allow you to do is that you can actually find videos that are actually performing way better than what the subscriber count is. So let's say if someone has, a subscriber count of, 100 on this channel. As of the point of this recording, we're currently just underneath 200. So let's say, for example, 200. Let's just change it to that, right? If one of my videos eventually gets, 5K, or like a 10K, 20K, etc., automatically that becomes an outlier because majority of my videos, because it's a new channel and we talk about, niche type of things, we're still growing the channel, that would be deemed a outlier because a lot of my videos tend to get, around 30, 20 views, sometimes 100 views, sometimes a couple hundred views, etc. As the channel grows, of course, these numbers will change, but it's just to give you guys an idea. So what you would want to do is to find an outlier and actually iterate it. This is the new method that you can see a lot of people using. For example, CCM uses it a lot, and a lot of the growth operators within the space utilize it a lot as well. This is simply just taking the title, taking maybe the thumbnail of this outlier video, and what you can then do is that you can replicate it into your own niche. So it works across the board. Let's say, for example, if I was in, I always talk about health, wealth, and relationships, right? If I wanted to actually create an effective outlier video for one of my clients, and let's say, for example, they're in the fitness niche, right? What I would then do is that I'll figure out a way from a creator maybe in the wealth or maybe in the relationship kind of niche, and take a video that is an outlier and actually literally just replicate it so that it fits into this actual niche over here. And as a result, what ends up happening is that you're not actually copying the content, you're actually iterating it. And what that basically is that, as we already know, good artists they do what? They copy. But for those that don't know the phrase, great artists do what? They steal. So this is basically an ethical way of stealing, right? In saying that, cool. So we head on to the next part. We need to understand that high ticket doesn't necessarily need to be flashy. In fact, content just like this, where I'm literally just speaking directly to you guys, is barely edited, maybe just chopping out 1 or 2 mistakes or one or two pauses in case I get a phone call or anything like that. It's very, very simple, straight to the point. You're attracting a certain type of person that has the attention span long enough to actually sit through the video, gain the value that they need, and actually build trust with them. You build trust by speaking directly to them, creating more content that's actually to do with that, right? And this is a bonus. I'll definitely say watch to the end of this because I'm going to be giving you guys just extra bonus and things that I've learned alongside obviously building these type of funnels for clients and also being in operations of informational products that I've gone on to do, 50K months, 60K, 70K months and even 100K months. And also trained by people that have actually done that as well. So the biggest thing that I've realized that separates the people that do maybe, a 10K offer into now doing, the 100K offers is that a lot of these guys at the 100K range, what they actually have is what we call a negative ICP. Now, it's something so simple, something so small, but this negative ICP, what it actually does is that it literally makes your content specifically say that we want to work with this type of people and we do not want to work with these type of people, being your negative character, your negative client profile. So we've seen, for example, Andrew Tate. He literally took over the internet from 2020 to around 2022 or 3-ish, before obviously his political case and whatever that happened with him, right? But he kept on making it very, very clear that he was against what we call the blue pill. Now, we're not going to get into what specifically that means, but for those that understand Andrew Tate and saw his content, we know the things that he stood against, right? You have another creator and business person, Myron Golden. If you guys don't know about Myron Golden, please, please, please check him out. Amazing at what he does. And he teaches business owners on how to actually get into mad profitable type of months using biblical principles, right? So his negative ICP will naturally be people that are unbiblical and using unbiblical doctrines, right, within their businesses, people that are unethical, etc. He doesn't want to work with that. Alex Hormozi, he says it all the time. He hates excuses. He hates lazy people, right? And all of these negative ICPs, you can make it very, very aware within your content by literally saying at the beginning, in the middle, at the end of the video that, look, you only work with these specific type of people. You don't want to work with these type of specific people. Or you can do it automatically by, again, creating you could say, the more boring whiteboard style type of content. Because the people that aren't suited for high ticket, bearing in mind high ticket starts at around like 3K. People that aren't suited for that, they want all the flashy edits and within their videos, right? We don't necessarily want that to come our way. Now, we're going on to step 2. What is step 2? Is lead generation. I talk about lead generation all the time because if you have no leads, you have no business. And it falls down into literally this funnel right here, right? What is this funnel? This funnel is quite simple. We have something at the top, which of course is top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, and bottom of funnel content. So just in case you don't know what that is, top of funnel content is content that focuses on broad awareness and problem recognition. You are literally creating content to make your ideal client profile problem aware. A lot of the time, before you invest into a course, for example, if you were to literally look back at it and actually think to yourself, oh, was I actually aware of this problem before I even purchased the course? A lot of the time, you're not. A lot of the time, you tend to see maybe a controversial clip come up, or you see something come up that grabs your attention, makes you think, okay, who is this creator? Then you keep on binge watching their content, and all of a sudden, it gets to a point where you then go down into what we call middle of funnel content. You are now within the funnel. What is middle of funnel content? It educates prospects who are exploring solutions and is aiming to build trust. This is where people now start to binge watch your content. They go from, maybe the clips that they see on Instagram Reels or the tweets that you're making, or for example, the TikToks you're making, and guess what they're doing? They're looking at the middle of funnel content and literally starting to understand, okay, more about your niche, more about your solutions, and they're building trust with the creator as well. I'm pretty sure every single person watching this video has bought from a creator that they've never met or never spoken to in their entire life. But guess what? Because they delivered on great content, they were very articulate in what they said, and they showed you that they knew about the subject matter. Guess what you did? You bought from them, right? So that is the powerful thing about middle of funnel content. Eventually, you want to funnel them into bottom of funnel content, and what that basically is dealing with ready to buy customers. These are people that understand what is going on. They're aware, they're educated, they've built trust, or you've built trust with them, and they're ready to buy, right? So for example, let's say, as you know, someone that runs an AI marketing agency, if I wanted to figure out, okay, how can I actually get my clients from 10 to maybe a 20k month, because I haven't done that before, guess what I'll do? I'll go on YouTube and literally search how to actually generate 20k or 30k or 50k, etc. for my client in so and so niche, etc. Whoever gives me enough evidence that they've been able to do it, I'm going to go with them. Do you know what I mean? It's the exact same way as you that is actually creating this informational product. A lot of the time, it tends to be people in the biz ops space, for example, looking to, get into a space that's going to generate them maybe their first 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5k, let alone 10k, for example. It depends whatever you're actually servicing, right? But the same thing applies all across the board. Now, this is the thing, right? This is the biggest cheat code that we have right here. And that cheat code is understanding 7 hours of content. So for those that actually don't know what that basically means, it means that in order for you to build trust with a customer and for them to make a purchase, there's actually been a study to actually show that they need to consume at least 7 hours of your content, right? So this could be blogs, it could be videos, podcasts, social media posts, it could be emails, webinars, anything, right? And it can be across different platforms as well. This is the reason as to why the biggest brands, they keep on hitting us with content in all different type of directions. In fact, they're omnidirectional. You have someone like, for example, Alex Amosi, where this guy, for example, he'll come through. I remember back then when his YouTube wasn't really banging. This is before everyone knew of him, right? He'll be posting on YouTube. All of a sudden, he started posting like podcasts. All of a sudden, he doubled down on now Instagram Reels, for example. When this now took off, he came back to actually double down on his YouTube. When that took off, all of a sudden, he kept on doubling down on even more things, like, for example, TikTok. For example, going back on the podcast, for example, starting to create books, for example, email letters, for example, like, have you guys ever noticed that majority of, for example, his informational products being the books, $100 million offers, for example, you can literally go on the internet right now and type in and you can get it completely for free. Why is that? He says it time and time again to us within the content space that watches his content and digests his content, because I'm an Alex Amosi fan to the core. I've been watching his content for a very, very long period of time. He literally says that, look, I want to give you all the free information that you need in order for you to get to, let's say, for example, $100 million. Let's just say, for example, that's the number, right? This is where he then takes you and invests into your business at a discount because, of course, you've built trust with him, built credibility. So instead of you selling that business to someone else that, for example, they can get the business off your hands for maybe a 300 mil, he'll purchase it from you, for example, maybe half of that. I'm just throwing out numbers at this point, right? But half of that. But he helped you get there, so you don't mind. You're just thinking in your head, oh, I'm working with Alex Amosi. Oh, he helped me get to this $100 million mark, etc. Now, guess what? You're both winning because he's giving you the money up front. He's now scaling the business. You're probably still in the business. And you're both making money together. Do you know what I mean? That because he's in the business of M&A now, acquisition. He takes on businesses, invests in them, and acts as a big growth operator within businesses, right, in the B2B space, and also the B2C space, from what I've seen anyways. So his ideal client profile, all the people on this type of level, again, I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't know what specifically it is. Anyone below this, anyone making, I don't know, 50, anyone making, I don't know, 100K, right, per month. Now, for example, 100K in a year, respectfully, he doesn't really have anything to do with you besides obviously just funneling you back into his entire funnel over here, which is just, content and the free game or the webinars that he runs or the sales training, etc. Right? So In saying that, this is the reason as to why I'm so bullish on YouTube, right? And you're going to see me posting quite a lot on YouTube, posting a lot of these type of clips and educating you guys as much as I can and sharing game as I also build within the space as well, documenting my journey, documenting the testimonials and the results I'm able to get for people, etc. on YouTube. The reason why I actually want to do that is simply because YouTube is the money printer. It's not a new thing, right? People should know this already. It is the world's second largest SEO, right? Search engine. So when people want to actually find something, they go to Google. If they can't find it on Google, then they'll go to YouTube. I believe after that, then maybe they'll go to TikTok, because TikTok is actually growing into a search engine as well. So in reality, the whole point of this is that if you really, really want to, you can use YouTube for this entire strategy, right? For top of funnel content, middle funnel, and also bottom of funnel. But it's completely your choice. That's what I'm doing personally, and that's what I'm going to be doing for my clients. But again, if you're watching this video and you're able to do it, in the traditional ways over here, then by all means, be my guest. Cool. So we got step number 3. In step number 3 is literally just your call to action within your content. For example, you've given people free game, and free value over here. And then in the content, you literally just say, cool, if you want to work with me, for example, this is even my CTA to you guys. If you made it to this point in the video and you enjoy the way I explain things, you enjoy the way I break things down, and you want to work with me one-to-one to build your high ticket coaching offer, literally just click the first link down below in the description and we'll see whether we're a good fit for you. That's how you do a CTA, and that's actually my CTA for you guys. So make sure to click down below if you want to work with me. In saying that, you've given them a CTA. From there, that's when you now go into your, of course, fulfillment, or before even fulfillment, you go into a sales call, etc. So this is the entire sales process after. So the reason why I've made it this entire thing is because there's different ways for you to actually do, the closing of a client into, of course, getting them into fulfillment. The simplest way, and this is probably the biggest thing I'll ever say to anyone. The biggest mistake I made in life is always trying to search for, the most complex ways of doing things. Every single person that I know personally within my network that is printing 6 figures every single month, or they're multi-millionaires in like 7 and 8 or even 9 at this point as well, all of those people keep things so simple. They follow the KISS principle. What is the KISS principle? That is literally keep it simple, stupid, or silly, or whatever you want to basically say. I'm going to put stupid because I like it better. It wakes me up, right? In saying that, cool. The most simple one to do, especially when you're just building it out, or you want to get to, I don't know, maybe just below 100K, you literally just need a call to action to a core funnel. So that's literally just booking in the calendar. We've seen so many people do it and they're killing it, right? Someone like, for example, Nick Settin, he was literally able to build all the way to multiple millions this year from literally just running this exact same strategy, where he'll do, for example, an Instagram approach plus a YouTube approach and get people to literally book into his calendar, close them on a call, and he's been able to actually print from doing that. So it works, and it will continue to work. In saying that, the second way that you can also do it is, of course, a CTA to VSL. So once you've now built a solid, for example, content system and lead generation system, you now have a solid, for example, fulfillment on the back end. You now want to basically build things that are going to basically sell on autopilot, with your closes, etc. That's when you can now start implementing what we call a VSL. This is a video sales letter. And what you're then doing is that you're basically walking them through what they're going to be getting in the program, in the offer, etc. before they get onto a call. So it's a pre-nurturing way and pre-nurturing mechanism. In saying that, that works extremely effective. In fact, all the biggest guys, that's what they use, right? Another way is, of course, getting a bit more complex and centering it all around this VSL, right? So there's a call to action, maybe for a free lead magnet or pay lead magnet, whatever you want to do. All of a sudden, they get into a VSL. After the VSL, for example, they get, a confirmation. and a confirmation video. They then get, for example, a call from a closer or a call from an appointment setter, before they get into the closer's calendar, etc. So there's different things that you can basically do. The main thing, right, that comes with this is all about understanding how to validate with action. At the end of the day, you need to test campaigns and track whatever converts. In reality, this is all you need in order for you to scale all the way from 0 all the way to 10K, 20K, 30K, whatever you basically want, right? Iterate often. So revisit and refine every few months, right? Outside of that, volume creates clarity. The more outreach, the more that you're basically doing, and outreach can basically come from your content. It can come from all the things you're basically posting, etc. The more you're doing this, the faster you see patterns and the faster you're able to basically create results, not only for yourself, but most importantly for your clients as well. So if you've enjoyed this video and you've actually seen the value that you can basically gain from this, I want you guys to make sure to implement it. Comment down below if you've implemented it and it's helped you actually generate any type of revenue, because it just shows that whatever we're actually teaching on this channel really does work, and it can actually build a belief system in other people that come to actually watch this type of content. Other than that, make sure to subscribe, because we're looking to build this channel and actually get this in front of more people. It helps me out, it helps yourself out, etc. And it makes me keep on going, just like that. So I appreciate you guys looking in. I'll make sure to see you guys in the next video.